Hey guys, you're listening to the JK Experience, where we train leaders to live a life of exceptional impact, influence, and faith. Josh Kalinowski here with you guys again, and I'm so excited. I've got the man, the legend, the myth around our neck of the woods over here, Chad Lummus, today with us.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, brother, man. It is so good to have you in the studio, man. This is the first time.
It is. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So usually we have James, of course, for those of you that are listening to us and watching us on YouTube. And I'm just kicking him out more and more of these episodes because I've just got amazing people that I love having conversations with. And Chad, I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. And today we're going to talk about 75 Hard. It is just kind of become a tradition on the JK podcast to have those that have completed it, that have gone through it, to share their experiences through this. And, I know that you did it before, and you didn't fully do it, but you actually went through it, which was amazing. The fact that you didn't quit even though you needed to start over, and you just went and pushed through that. But this one you did, and 100% completed, and just absolutely crushed it. And you did it by yourself this time.
I did, yeah.
So let's talk about it. So we always have the 11 takeaways, by the way, that you're going to be sharing with us today. Now, we might not get all through all those 11 takeaways in this episode, so we'll do another one to make sure we get the people at home all of your takeaways. But first of all, why'd you do it?
Well, you pushed me last year to do it, and it was a challenge I thought that I knew I needed.
Yeah.
And so last year, that's the reason why I did it, and I failed last year. And I don't like to lose, and I really don't like to lose against myself.
Yeah.
And the big takeaway from last year was, I was kind of wondering why I failed and wondering the things that were going on in my life.
Interesting.
As opposed to just looking in the mirror and pointing at myself and you failed, it was all on you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is 99% of their failures is nobody else's fault except their own.
Right.
And when you realize that, dude, it is life. That in itself is life changing.
Yeah.
And so when I realized that I had failed myself and it was all my fault, I could not wait till the following year to do it. I mean, at that point, I was like, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to kick ass and just kill it. And so moving into 2020, was waiting for for that day to start, and I there was no reason why I did it by myself or why I didn't. It was just the timing.
Is there a reason why you waited so long to do it? Was it because you felt like that was a good time of the year, or like what was it for the anticipation for? Okay, I'm going to do it this time next year.
Yeah, I feel like it's as far as timing, that was the best time for me because it's right after summer and it ends before the holidays.
Yeah.
However, it's right before the end of the year, so my mind and body and spiritually, I'm reset. I'm ready to move and make those goals going into the following year.
Yeah. Love it, buddy. Well, once again, as a former member of the 75 Hard Club, and I guess current member, it is just awesome to see you accomplish that goal because we all know what it takes to do that. We all know the discipline that you have to create in your life to do that and accomplish it. We also we know the no muscles and all of these things. So I want to know your takeaways. What are the 11 takeaways that you discovered along this journey of doing 75 Hard?
Yeah, so like yourself, you pushed me into it, and you pushed several other people in your circle into doing 75. Not pushing, but directing them to 75 Hard. Mm-hmm. And I've also have done that with people who are in my circle as well. And I hear a lot of excuses.
Yeah, amazing, right?
And those excuses are just like when you're doing this, they become like this flashing red light. It's like everybody's got an excuse for everything. Mm-hmm. And it's just more noticeable, I guess, is what I've come to find out, that everybody's got an excuse. And I was going through this, I was, getting my house ready for the market. So I had several contractors in my home, and it was just unbelievable, the amount of excuses. And what I also realized going into this is there are so many. So some people have so many excuses that they become lies that they're telling themselves. They're not actually lying to you, and they don't actually look. I mean, they just don't know. I mean, that's just how they're living, is excuses, 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 and it's just lies that they're telling themselves. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not living that.
Yeah, it becomes systemic in their lives,
Exactly.
right? Because that's exactly what they take ownership of that story. It's not the truth of the story, but they literally believe it, and they start to actually have it manifest in their life. And you can see how it affects every aspect of it as well.
Exactly.
You know, so, all right. So, I want to just highlight too, this, that, when you did it the first time back in 2019 with us, dude, you had so much going on too. I mean, I don't want to give you credit for failing, but that you did have a tremendous amount of things and pressure that you were facing at that time in your life, and excuse me, everything that was going on with your children and yourself personally as a father. And of course, then you're growing your own personal brand and growing your business as well too. So the fact that you are able to look at that and say, you know what, I just failed myself personally. No matter what happened, no matter what the excuses were, it was just literally me. That's a massive area of growth that you experienced that time. So let's go back to the takeaways. So one of them was you've realized that the excuses and how everybody has them, and they start taking ownership of them. What's another takeaway that you experienced through this journey?
So as far as goals go, I mean, so my main goal was to get through 75 hard and not just do it, but just to kick ass at it. And like, there was literally nothing that was going to get in my way that was going to stop me, aside from, an injury or something. So
even that's questionable, by the way.
Exactly.
I know how tough you are.
So what I realize is when you have a goal and you're set on that goal, you're going to have hurdles, right? You're going to have these, these problems and issues that get in the way. And as you're going towards that goal and you see these coming up, you not only figure out how to get around them or over them or whatever, over a period of time, you look forward to them.
Right.
You look forward to that challenge, that even though you're in a challenge, there's another challenge that comes up. You're like, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
And so that was just something I noticed as I was going through. I just wasn't shying away from anything. And eventually it was just, let's just do it.
Yeah. Well, it's something that we often say about is embracing the suck, right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be hard. The hurdle is going to be challenging. It's going to force you to do something that you're not necessarily comfortable with, and that you have to overcome. But you're right. You look forward to this because on the other side of that is either greatness or there's another you. There's a better version of yourself, and it's fun when you get to discover all that you were meant to be and all that you possibly can become.
Exactly. And as a reminder, and this might sound kind of crazy, but a daily reminder of what that feels like is I started doing the 5-minute cold showers every day.
Oh yeah.
Because I know
so painful, right?
I hate it every second of it. I hate it. Going into it, and I dread even taking a shower anymore.
Yep.
Because I know it's coming at the end.
Yep.
But when I'm done, I feel so much better, and I'm glad I did it. And it's just a morning reminder every single morning that this is what it's like to face your challenges.
Yeah. Well, and it's great because especially like in business, as a businessman or a businesswoman, you're going to face challenges every single day. And as you alluded at the very beginning, where is that a lot of people will start telling themselves lies of why they can't or why they shouldn't or why they won't do certain things in their life. And man, if you want to get to that next level of success in your business, you have to be willing to face the things that are uncomfortable. And I love the cold shower for the aspect of is like, I am starting my day with something that's painful, something that's I don't really like, something that's going to freaking make me cold. But it's not going to get any worse than this.
Exactly.
Like I can go and take on other challenges because I've conditioned myself that I'm about to embrace something that sucks voluntarily, and nobody's going to have to drag me through it.
Exactly.
All right, dude. I love it, man. Okay, so what? Another three. So we're on takeaway number 3 now.
Yes. So, and I guess this will kind of lead into my other takeaway is when you have what I've learned going through this is when you have choices, and this was a conversation I had with a gentleman in our office too. When you have choices, you've got one that makes it, you feel comfortable. This is the great. I mean, this is going to be a more comfortable way. This is the easy way.
Yeah.
Or you got this one that's fearful and it's going to make you uncomfortable. You're always going to want to choose that uncomfortable path, whatever that decision is, because eventually that's going to be the right decision. Our brains are conditioned to take the easy route, right?
Right. Yeah. It's there to protect you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so you've got to condition your brain to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? So
Right.
taking that uncomfortable path. So I've learned that when I've come up with, choices or, different avenues, that 10 times out of 10, I better take that uncomfortable route.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on the other side, but I know once I get through it, I'm going to be a much better person.
There's a great book out there by Trevor Moad that talks about, it's called It Takes What It Takes. And he's literally talking about the same stuff. He's saying that, listen, when you're growing up and you're deciding to do things, you have options, right? You have this option to go this way, or you have this option to go this way. But once you make a decision to be successful, once you make a decision to be elite, once you make a decision to be the best that you possibly can, you don't have any more options. You just have choices you have to make. And what are the choices are you going to make in order for you to fulfill that expectation or that dream in your life? Yeah. So it really, what you're saying beautifully entwines with what he's talking about there with It Takes What It Takes. So I love it, dude. And you're right, man. Once again, the discipline that you establish through 75 Hard, it becomes your routine though, right? It becomes that, it's just automatic for you because every single day, these are certain things that you have to do in order for you to not only accomplish this, but just like you said, it's one thing to just go through it,
exactly,
but to kick ass through it, to accomplish it and to crush it takes a lot more intentionality. And it also takes a spirit of, kind of like relentlessness and opportunity that you have to have, as opposed to a lot of people, when they're going on a diet and they're just like, I'm just trying to get through this diet, man. I'm just trying to lose 100 pounds.
Exactly.
And you're like, bro, no, this is like changing your life. This is not just 75 days, because it stays with you afterwards as well.
Yeah, it's easy to let go too. I can see how people get through it and they're just like, I'm just done.
Yeah.
But that cup empties pretty quick.
Yeah.
And that was another takeaway too, because I took a couple of days off, and I just felt empty.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling that with the reading and the workouts. I didn't have to do two, but at least one workout a day.
Yeah.
And the diet and everything that's involved to keep your cup filled, it just drains.
Right.
And I just felt, I almost felt lost.
Yeah.
I was just like, I got to get back into this.
Yeah.
Because I like that freaking mode I'm in, that machine I've been feeding.
Yeah.
It's just unreal.
Yeah, well, you're feeding the good beast, right? We have two beasts inside of us, the ones that's healthy, the one that's unhealthy. And when you're not staying in those disciplines, when you're not filling your cup, you start feeding this very unhealthy beast inside of you. And we don't want to go in that direction. That has complacency, that makes you drift away from your dreams. It makes you drift away from the person that you want to become. So I love the fact that you noticed that quickly after 2 days, that in order for you to still be that person that you want to be, the father that you've grown to be, you need to stay in those disciplines.
Yep. You got to keep working that muscle.
Amen, brother.
Every day.
Absolutely, dude. All right. What do we got? What's our next one here,
Well,
man?
let me look at my list here.
Yeah.
So, here's another thing I noticed, and I don't know if this is a takeaway or not, but this is a bit of an insight, is, talking with other people and even people close to me, is not everybody's going to understand and not everybody's going to back you up on it.
Yeah.
And I always get a lot of why. And I'm thinking, okay, so I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm working out every day. I'm reading. I'm on a healthy diet.
Yeah.
And you're asking me why? Okay. So
yeah, who's got their priorities screwed up here, right?
And I heard it a lot, and I felt very kind of sad about that. And I just, I didn't know how to respond to that, other than, I'm challenging myself, but I don't think they could even understand it. Even after I explained it to them, they didn't fully understand, because they've never even been close to pushing themselves that hard in their lives on one certain goal.
Isn't it amazing? We hear about this a lot. We read books about people like, oh, listen, you got to you protect that sphere of influence, protect the people that are on, sitting at your board table. Mm-hmm. And like to see it in action, to actually see it work out in your life where you're like, man, I really do have people in my life that are kind of trying to wear me down, or they're trying to bring me down, or they don't want me to push to that level. And it's interesting to go through that process to figure out, man, I thought I had that person. I mean, that person's a friend. I call them a friend, but man, they're really not there to make me better. They're there to make sure that I stay at the same level as they are so that we have something in common.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. All right, let's go on. Number, I don't even know what we're on right now. I think we're on 7 or so, but we've got some great takeaways so far, my man.
So, yeah, small efforts really do compound.
Yeah.
700 pages of reading, 6,750 minutes of working out.
No kidding.
75 gallons of water.
Yeah.
So if you look at that at one, that's a lot. I mean, that's intimidating, right? Mm-hmm. But when you chop away at it every day, I mean, you can accomplish so much if you just commit to something every day. You just think about what else could I do?
Right. Yeah,
Implement into my life.
2.5 months, dude. That's it.
Yeah.
It didn't take you 6 months to do that. It didn't take you a year to do that. It was literally done in 2.5 months.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you know how many books you read, by the way?
So I read the 2 books by General. Oh my gosh. The guy that wrote Make My Bed.
Oh yes. Uh-huh.
So I read Make My Bed every year.
Okay.
It's just a good reminder.
Yeah.
And, but he had another book about his life in the military.
Okay.
And
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
That seriously, hands down, one of the best speeches that I've heard. I absolutely loved it.
Dude, amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
So I had his 2 books, and then I did read 75 Hard. So 3, 4, read 6 books.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, like people won't read 6 books in a lifetime.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, if you think about it, like when we have these conversations with people, I'm like, dude, are you a reader? They're like, oh no, I'm more of a podcast guy, or I watch more videos, or I do some Audible. And I'm like, no, like you gotta like feed your brain in that aspect as well too. And they can't even tell you the last time that they read a book, or even a meaningful book, right? Nonfiction, something that actually was empowering you, something that was actually pouring into you so you became a better person. Best book that you've read? Let's just say in the last 2 years, because of course, obviously having done 75 Hard the last time, even though you failed in a sense, but you still completed it. What would you say is one of your best books that you've had an opportunity to read?
Oh boy.
I know I'm putting you on the spot right there.
Yeah, you are. Well, I like the book that you recommended because I've already dived into it quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Play the Man.
Play the Man, dude. I'm hooked.
Yeah. Hands down.
Yeah. But I would have to say, you know, it was another book you introduced me. It was probably longer than 2 years. Was Revelations of the Revelations for Men. You remember that one?
I'm not trying to. I can't honestly.
It was a while ago, but that was probably. I'd have to say that was a good book too. So
I'm gonna have to remember that one, dude.
Yeah.
For some odd reason, I can't remember that title. Was it Revelations? Was it? I don't know. It was
I'll have
something.
to double check.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've gone through a lot of books together, but seriously, and I love that. All right, man. Give us another takeaway if you don't mind. There.
Yeah. So that I guess that would lead into my other one was my newfound love for reading and podcasts as well. Because what happened was, as I do my second workout, which is oftentimes was a walk with the dog up and down the mountain, but it went from listening to my workout music or whatever to eventually I couldn't even listen to music. I had to put something intentional in.
Yeah.
Like I had to keep feeding that machine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the music wasn't doing it for me. So, podcasts. I mean, I just love it. First thing in the morning, I get up after I read my book when I'm cooking breakfast or doing whatever. Driving around town, there's always a podcast going on. It's just wonderful, and I just love keep getting nuggets.
Yes,
just little nuggets every here and there, man.
Amen, brother. Yeah, listen, I can't tell you the last time I listened to music during one of my workouts, because you're right. I just want to continue to keep feeding the machine, and I feel like I'm working out my physical muscles and then also my mental muscles at the same time.
Yeah.
And even though I might not be remembering all of it, there's always these key takeaways. There's always that one sentence. There's always something that I'm gathering from those. And listen, there's a lot of information going on out there, and it is awesome to be able to have that time intentionally to listen to these podcasts. I mean, I went to Buffalo today. Hour and a half of podcasts on the way back, hour and a half. And just to have that windshield time is amazing. I'm starting to get a little bit into the Audible, but I'm too much of a guy that likes to highlight in my books.
Yeah.
That Audible is a little bit tough because I can't do that through the audio version of it. So I haven't gotten there yet, but I think that's probably something that I'm going to have to start venturing into for 2021.
Yeah, that's something I've been looking into as well. So but yeah, so I just love it, and obviously reading is I continue to, you don't have to do a whole lot. I mean,
Right.
It's really just 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you can fit in.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. So
Yeah. All right, hit us with another one there, brother.
all right. Yeah, so I'm looking through. We've already talked to some of this.
There's no way we hit them all yet.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, almost we have, because we kind of talked to some of them through as we were talking through. Alcohol, man. It's amazing that, I mean, I like to have a beer just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed afterwards is even just a couple beers compared to compared to nothing at all, how much it changes my state of motivation the next day.
Yeah.
And trying to get through the day, and how clear my head needs to be.
Yeah.
And so I've realized too that, like, again, alcohol is okay occasionally, but it can really get in the way of your goals and ambitions. I don't know how anybody could get to their goals and ambitions if you do that daily.
Right.
Or think about how much more you could accomplish, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say,
without it.
that's exactly right. I mean, there's a lot of people that we know that they drink on a fairly regular occasion.
Yeah.
But when you stop, like what we did through the 75 Hard, it is amazing how much more motivation you have, where your focus is at.
Yeah.
Right. It's not. You're not focused on, hey, listen, it's 5 o'clock. I'm ready for a beer. Hey, listen, it's the weekend. Thank goodness we can finally tie one on. Right. I mean, like you're so focused on other things. And it's really energizing to wake up the next day and not have that slight hangover, or not have that confusion, or not have that cloudiness.
It's a little bit cloudiness, yeah.
And the cloudiness is something that we've talked about numerous times. As we get older, we're having more and more of that cloudiness in a sense. So it's also about what are you eating and what are you putting in your body for the nutrients. So to add any more to that just complicates it and doesn't really allow you to be as optimal as you feel and are when you are going through this program like this.
Exactly.
So so we've got through all of these things. We got about a couple minutes left on this one. Maybe we did this in the reverse order, but tell everybody what exactly that you did when you went through 75 Hard. What was the 5 things that you needed to make sure that you did every single day?
Yep, every single day. So, there's 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes each. At least one of them has to be outside. You can do both of them outside if you want, but one has to be outside.
Yep.
They have to be 3 to 4 hours apart. You cannot do them back to back.
Back to back, yep. And that's a big one because it's easy to fall into that.
It
Hey, I
is.
just got this one done, so I'm going to run into the other one.
Well, because it makes it easy, right?
Exactly.
It makes 75 Hard easy, and that's, and it's also about time management as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Second, a gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
That was a bitch.
Oh, dude. You got to know where every bathroom is at, and then sometimes you just go make up a bathroom.
Seriously. And when you're going through 75 Hard, as you know, there is no full night's sleep. You're
Right.
up 3, 4, 5 times a night going to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yep.
So you do not get solid sack time either.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And there's no time to sleep in, right?
Yep. Yeah, because you got to get that. You have to get a morning workout in because
Yeah.
it just kills you if you don't get that morning workout in.
Exactly. You're screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
Read 10 pages out of a meaningful book, something that's going to make your life better, encourage you, whether it's personally, spiritually, or business-wise.
Yeah.
I always try to mix it all a little bit. you got to pick a diet. Now that's not, you can pick any diet you want,
Yeah.
but it's got to work for you and what your goals are.
Yep.
So
No cheat days.
No cheat days. I mean, nothing. I mean, if something in your diet says no sugar and you have one Skittle, guess what? You got to start over.
Yes.
I mean, there is no, I mean, it's just a hard black or white. I mean, there's no gray.
I know, well, Brandon, one of our good friends, I mean, he started over on day 35 simply because he was eating the wrong protein bar because of what his diet had consisted of, and didn't realize, he didn't check the details of it. He was still eating something really healthy for him, but he had made a commitment that he was going, I think, plant-based or something to that nature, and ended up finding out that it actually had a product in there that was not in his diet. So that's exactly what it is. If you screw up, you are back on day number 1.
Yep. And it's about being true to yourself, man.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and so the last one here, of course, is something that you just hit on, which was the alcohol.
Yeah. So no alcohol, absolutely none.
Yeah.
And I find that was the easiest through the entire thing. I don't know why, but it was.
Yeah, that's amazing, because as I was looking at it, that was also I think that was the driving point, the force for me, because I always told myself I was always in control, that I didn't need it. And this is a way for me to prove that that I had that intestinal fortitude to do it, man. So, man, I love it, dude. It was awesome. I'm so glad we got to recap on it. I know a lot of people like to reach out to you, talk to you about this. You've had a number of conversations with people. What's the best way, social media, what's the best way for people to follow you? You've got an amazing social media presence out there. But if they wanted to ask you questions on it, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, Instagram is great. Lummus Real Estate, just look it up. It's the only one out there, hopefully.
Yeah. So with the big lion on there in the mountain, man. So I love it.
It's there. You can find me on Facebook too. It's not hard to find me.
Yeah.
So
and you got a YouTube channel, which is awesome. You're just crushing YouTube.
YouTube's great. I just that was another thing too. Is the other day I was like, man, I do a market update obviously every week or 2 weeks, and I didn't put anything else out. I was like, this is getting stagnant. I need to put some more stuff out different. And I didn't want to. I was just like, I got to edit this thing. I got to, and Andy Frisella says, you got your bitch voice and you got your boss voice. So I had to put the freaking boss voice on. Yeah. And instead of doing one, I did 3 videos. Nice. And to, just to give me some cushion there. But it was just, if you can get in control of that bitch voice and use that boss voice, I mean, you'll be light years ahead of everybody else. Yeah, you're unstoppable when you can do that. Exactly. All right, buddy. Well, once again, dude, awesome to have you on the show. Thanks for coming out and sharing some wisdom, and congratulations, buddy. It's a great accomplishment, and not a lot of people actually do it. So that's awesome, brother. All right. Thanks, all because of you, man. I appreciate it. Well, it takes a team, dude. I'll tell you what, I don't know if I could do it by myself. I tell you that. That was what's so exciting when we were doing it the first time, is that there was just so many people around collectively that were going through the same pain and misery, but we also got to celebrate together. All right, guys, listen, I'm telling you what, man, if you have not considered 75 Hard, if you haven't talked about doing 75 Hard, you really, really got to consider this. Of course, get a hold of Chad, and he will be happy to share all of his insights and the things and the keys and the takeaways to have a successful run at this. And also know too, like, man, if you do fail, that's okay. Just get back on that horse and do it again. So